Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into a really fascinating part of Japanese culture, Dagashi.
Mm-hmm.
You've got this great article that really digs into these, traditional, super affordable snacks. It looks at their history, what they mean to people, and why they're even getting attention outside Japan now.
Right.
So our mission really is to figure out what makes these simple, often kind of colorful little treats hold such a special place, in Japanese culture.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if you're curious about Japanese culture beyond, let's say, the usual stuff, or if you just appreciate simple things with a story behind them, this should be really interesting.
Definitely.
We're basically unpacking how a bag of cheap snacks can be like a window into the country's past and present.
Okay, so let's kick things off then. What exactly are dagashi? Our source calls them inexpensive traditional Japanese snacks, enjoyed by pretty much everyone.
Yeah, and the price is key, usually between, 10 and 100 yen, so incredibly cheap.
Wow.
And the variety is just huge. You've got candies, chocolates, gums, other little savory snacks, all sorts.
It sounds like the kind of place a kid would just absolutely love, like a treasure trove.
Oh, totally. And that's a big part of it. The article points out how kids love them, the bright colors, the playful packaging.
Yeah.
But it's not just for kids. Adults are really drawn to them too, often because, nostalgia. It takes them back.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Nostalgia is powerful. And the article digs into the history, right? It seems they go way, way back.
They really do. We're talking the Edo period, so like 1600s to mid 1800s. They started as these miscellaneous snacks. That's kind of the translation for ordinary folks.
Okay.
Made with, simple stuff, brown sugar, starch, things that were cheap and available. And that actually set them apart from the fancier sweets.
Fancier sweets.
Yeah, kamigashi. Those were like high-class sweets for the nobility and upper classes. More refined ingredients, often very artistic. So dagashi were kind of the everyday person's treat.
Interesting. So even snacks showed the sort of social divisions back then.
Exactly. It reflects the whole landscape. And things kept changing. After the Meiji era started, late 19th century, sugar became more common, manufacturing got better,
So more variety.
way more variety. And then through the Taisho and Showa eras, so moving into the 20th century, they became popular all over Japan, really nationwide.
And then the article mentions the post-war era.
Right, the baby boom after World War II. That led to a boom in these little shops called Dagashi specialty snack shops.
Hmm.
They became like a fixture everywhere.
The classic neighborhood candy store, kind of.
Sort of, yeah. And that whole culture, that image is still really strong in people's minds. It's a huge part of the nostalgia today.
So let's break down that appeal. The article suggests three main things. First, this nostalgic cultural experience. It says it captures the spirit of those Showa-era shops, representing, and this is a quote, the original landscape of the Japanese people. That's quite poetic.
It is, isn't it? But it rings true. That connection to the past, it's powerful. It's like a shared memory for a lot of people. Maybe, a callback to simpler times.
And the snacks themselves are the trigger.
Yeah, the affordability, like we said. Those specific character products, too. The article mentions cabbage taro and umaibo. We should talk more about those later.
Okay.
And even, like, the fun packaging, little games on them, like a rock, paper, scissors gummy mentioned. It all sparks those childhood memories.
And it's not just Japanese people feeling this. Foreigners, too.
Apparently so. The audio says visitors see them as an everyday taste of Japan. And they make unique souvenirs, right? Because they often reflect history or even regional things.
That's cool, like an edible piece of culture you can take home.
Exactly. Super accessible, super affordable way to connect.
Okay, second attraction. Diverse textures and creative flavors. This sounds fun.
Yeah, it really is. You get this huge range. The article mentions awa-dama, which are like fizzy candies, then the crunch of umaibo, or the soft, chewy texture of yokon, which is a type of jelly dessert.
And the flavors sound wild.
Huh.
Tonkatsu sauce flavor. Corn pottage.
Huh. Yeah, definitely not your standard candy flavors, maybe, for some people outside Japan. But they're popular. Things like matcha green tea flavor or kabiyaki, that's grilled eel flavor.
Wow, eel flavor in a snack.
Yep, it's like a little taste of broader Japanese food culture packed into a tiny snack. A little adventure.
Okay, and the third point was the fusion of fun and food. The eat and play idea.
Right, this is really key for Dagashi. Think katanuki candy, you have to like carefully cut out a shape from the candy itself.
I think I've seen those, so like a little activity.
Exactly. Or Kiraruka chocolate, which might have a tiny story or illustration printed on the wrapper or the back. It adds another layer.
In collecting characters like Hello Kitty.
Yeah, that too. So it's this mix, the article says. Cheapness, taste, and playfulness. It makes them appealing, especially maybe to younger people on social media now, and offers these small discoveries for visitors. It's more than just fuel, it's entertainment.
Right, right. Okay, let's get specific. The article recommends some popular ones. First up, cabbage taro.
Ah, a classic.
But wait, it doesn't taste like cabbage.
No, thankfully. The article makes that clear. It's a crunchy, puffy snack, simple soy sauce kind of flavor, but it's iconic. A real symbol of that Dagashi culture, that Showa nostalgia.
Gotcha. So it's about the association as much as the taste.
Totally. It's like the Proust's Madeline of Japanese snacks for a certain generation, maybe.
Okay. Then there's Black Thunder. That sounds more, I don't know, familiar. Cocoa cookies and chocolate.
Yeah, Black Thunder's huge. You find it everywhere, convenience stores, supermarkets. The article suggests it almost represents Japanese chocolate culture for tourists.
What is that?
Well, partly because it's so available. And it's individually wrapped, which makes it super easy to buy a few, take them home as little gifts or souvenir.
Okay, convenient. Makes sense. And Carol chocolates.
Ah, yeah, the tiny little square ones. Bite size. They come in tons of flavors. Green tea, strawberry, salt, all sorts.
And they have the stories on the back. Part of the play element.
Exactly. Little illustrations, sometimes short messages or stories, adds to the fun, and apparently they get shared on social media quite a bit. Plus, the article notes they used to be just 10 yen, which was amazing value back then.
Wow, yeah. A tiny treat anyone could afford.
That's the essence of Dagashi, really.
Okay, so those are the popular ones. But the author also gives some personal recommendations, right? These maniac picks.
Yeah, a playful term. These focus more on, like, local character and sense of fun. First is Kabayaki-san taro.
Okay, what's that? Kabayaki again? Eel flavor.
Yeah, but this is made from fish surimi, you know, that processed fish paste.
Yeah.
It's like a thin, crispy sheet snack flavored like grilled eel, sweet and spicy sauce. The article calls it a condensed version of Japanese food culture, and apparently some people eat it as a snack with, like, beer or sake.
Interesting. So it bridges the gap between kid snack and adult snack, almost.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Shows the versatility. Then there's one with a great name, Taratara Shitenjin Neo.
Which means?
Roughly, don't be lazy or stop slacking off.
Okay. What is it?
It's another surimi snack made from codfish. Spicy, supposedly has a squishy texture and this really addictive spicy taste. Popular in Dagashi bars, the article says.
Dagashi bars. We need to get to those.
We will. And the name is a conversation starter, right? Apparently, tara is Japanese for cod, the main ingredient, and taratara is like an onomatopoeia, maybe for laziness or slowness. So it's a pun.
That's brilliant. Love it. And the last recommendation.
Hokkaido katanuki. So katanuki again, the cutting out candy, but this one is red melon flavored, and the shapes are all Hokkaido-themed bears, the Goryokaku fort.
Oh, cool. So it's regional.
Exactly, and you can keep the little shapes you cut out as souvenirs.
Yeah.
So it links the snack directly to visiting Hokkaido, to sightseeing, ties it all together.
That perfectly hits that fusion of fun and food point again. It's an activity and a snack and a souvenir.
Precisely. It shows the distinction the author makes. The popular ones give you everyday Japan, while these maniac picks offer more local character and sense of fun.
Okay, you mentioned Dagashi bars. Let's talk about those. What are they?
They're basically retro-themed izakayas, Japanese pubs, but the gimmick is you can drink alcohol and eat all sorts of dagashi.
Oh, fun. Like an adult candy store with booze.
Pretty much. And they often have dagashi you might not find easily elsewhere, maybe rarer stuff or things that trigger specific memories, like snacks they used to serve in school lunches.
School lunch snacks. That's deep nostalgia.
Right. And the article mentions this shokugen experience. Shokugen are like toys that come with candy, or vice versa. These bars sometimes lean into that playfulness.
How so?
Well, having things like the katanuki candy to cut out while you drink, or those sherbet Perot candies where you dip a lollipop into powder and it changes flavor. Sometimes they even have little games like fairground-style shooting games or fishing games where you win dagashi as prizes.
That sounds amazing. Like a whole nostalgic theme park.
It really does. The article calls it a nostalgic cultural tour. They recreate the vibe of those old Showa-era dagashi shops, you know, with all the cheap snacks. Seeing all the vintage packaging, maybe having an all-you-can-eat dagashi option. The article says, for some visitors, especially foreigners, it feels like time travel.
I could totally see that. A delicious trip back in time.
Yeah.
And it's not just eating them plain.
Yeah.
People get creative.
Yeah, the article mentions that too. Creative arrangements using Dagashi and other things, like putting them in fruit sandwiches with yogurt or dipping Pocky sticks in cheese fondue, which sounds interesting.
Mean cheese fondue.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And even specific alcohol pairings are becoming popular, like having Black Thunder with sake or Kaki no Tain, those little crescent rice crackers with craft beer.
Wow. So Dagashi are still evolving, finding new ways to be enjoyed.
Definitely. They're not just museum pieces. People are actively playing with them, incorporating them into modern food and drink culture.
So if we've made everyone hungry, how do people actually get these?
Yeah.
Especially if they're not in Japan.
Well, the internet, of course. The article mentions you can find them easily online. Places like Amazon, you can buy them in bulk, those adult quantities we dreamed of as kids.
Uh-huh. Dangerous.
A little bit, but very convenient, especially for people overseas wanting to try them.
And if you are in Japan, beyond convenience stores.
Convenience stores and supermarkets will have some, yeah. But for the real deal, the article recommends a specialty store called Okashi no Machioka.
Okay.
They have something like 150 shops, mostly around central Tokyo, apparently, and they offer just a mind-boggling selection, like 1,000 varieties of popular sweets and snacks, all at good prices.
1,000 kinds. That's incredible. Sounds like a must visit.
Definitely sounds like Dagashi heaven. It really drives home the sheer scale of this world. It's not just 5 or 10 snacks, it's a whole universe.
Absolutely. Okay, so wrapping this up, it feels like Dagashi are way more than just cheap candy, aren't they?
Oh, much more. They're like these tangible pieces of Japanese history, Japanese culture.
Yeah, hitting that nostalgia button hard, offering really unique flavors and textures, and often having that element of playfulness mixed in.
Right. They appeal across generations for different reasons. And their popularity, both in Japan and the growing interest internationally, it really highlights how important these seemingly simple things can be. They're a taste of everyday Japan.
A really unique, fun, and delicious way to understand a bit more about the culture.
Couldn't agree more.
So here's a final thought to chew on. We've seen how these simple, affordable snacks are woven into the fabric of Japanese society and are now catching eyes globally. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other, seemingly small or everyday items in other cultures might hold similarly rich stories, unexpected insights into who we are?
That's a great question. Lots to think about there.
Definitely something to ponder. Well, thanks for taking this deep dive with us into the world of Dagashi.